Highlights Kenyan Eliud Kipchoge has made athletics history by becoming the first person to run a marathon in under 2 hours, although his remarkable effort will not be recognized by the sport's governing body. The run, organized and funded by a British chemical company, was Kipchoge's second attempt to break the barrier after he missed out by 26 seconds in Monza 2 hours ago. The Olympic marathon champion and world record holder completed a course around Vienna's Prater Park in 1 hour 59:40 minutes, guided by rotating 7-man teams of pace setters, and many of themselves renowned athletes, and an electric pace car. Kipchoge averaged around 2.50 minutes per kilometre. He reached the halfway mark in 59.35 seconds, just 11 seconds inside of the target. For the last kilometre, the pacemakers and car peeled away from Kipchoge and pointed to the crowd, and he smiled as he completed his run.
After Roger Bannister made history in 1954, it took another 63 years. I tried and I did not get. Now it's 65 years. I have tried. I'm the happiest man to run under 2 hours in order to inspire many people, to tell people that no human is limited. You can do it. I'm expecting more of the athletes in peace all over the world to run under 2 hours after today.
Well, while the IAAF has said it would not recognize the run as an official record because it was not in open competition and it is used in and out of pacemakers, its president Sebastian Coe has welcomed the record attempt. At the same time, a meeting in Kigali where a section of African anti-corruption activists were gathered took some time out to congratulate Kipchoge.
Kipchoge has broken the record again, his own record.
The only thing you can say is keep Kipchoge, keep running. I think especially based on where we are now, we are excited. If Kipchoge can do it, we can all do it. And I think for me, the happiest thing and the best thing that he has done is show us that the best person you should compete against is always yourself.
It is a very, very interesting news, and I'm proud for that. I am a Cameroonian, but I am also an African, and when there is a winner from any country, mainly from Kenya, it is a good news, and I'm proud to enjoy about it.
It's an incredible achievement, and I think there are many lessons that come out of it. One is the human determination, and secondly is just the discipline that it requires to run such a race. And I am very delighted that Eliud has given us this opportunity to realize that the challenges that we face as human beings are surmountable.
This week is a victory for African people, especially for Ethiopia and Kenya. Ethiopia, our Prime Minister won the Nobel Peace Prize, and as today we celebrate another victory. The man who break the record of marathon. We are very happy. He inspires the people, the youngsters of Africa, for more victory and more victory.
We congratulate him. As we are fighting corruption here, he's also fighting the cause of Africa.
Well, joining us for more in studio on this is Graham Block, a long-distance running coach and the founder of Runzone Athletics Club in Randburg, Johannesburg. We welcome you and we thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Essentially, Kipchoge has broken that sub 2 hour marathon. Take us through your initial reaction.
My initial reaction was, it's just absolutely amazing. This is history in the making. It's just phenomenal. There's nothing more to express about it other than it's just super insane, super amazing, and was my reaction to it.
With that being said, what do you think the achievement by Kipchoge is going to be actually doing for the running community in South Africa and I suppose at the continent at large?
Yeah, the thing about what he's achieved today is a message that's been sent out to people is this, that anything and everything that if you put your mind to it 100%, full out, fully committed, you can achieve whatever you can put your mind to. Mm-hmm. And that is the message that's really going out there today. I mean, if you think about it, a couple of years ago where they were battling to break the 4-minute mile, and once that was set, you've got school kids breaking mile records today. We look at him setting that goal today and breaking that record today, and that is setting a new sort of state of mind that it is achievable, and you will see times breaking from here onwards.
Now, running has been your life for many years. You love running. Tell us why Kenyans in specific are such great runners. What is it that makes them different?
So many people have been trying to study that, and not too many people has come out with the true result of what it is. I just believe it's their makeup, it's their genes. There is only just a certain bunch of them that actually come out and be as strong as Eliud has been. But I think besides just the genes, and as the question you asked is what makes them so different, is they are breed on their own, as we term in running terms. They are breed on their own, and that's what it really is. And their commitment.
I'll just comment, of course, on this record that has somewhat been broken. There was a word from the IAAF that they would not necessarily recognize this as an official record due to whatever regulations they have, and also noting in the specific race the presence of pace setters. What is your comment on that?
It would not be recognized as a world record as per se as set there, for the very fact that it was not competitive against another human being as such. The idea about what was actually took place here today is not so much a race against another human being or a race against mankind. This was a race against time. And this is this is what's so phenomenal about this, is the fact that it was a race against time. And yes, it's right, and yes, it's correct that they cannot accept it as a full world record, and I fully agree with that.
All right, let's change the focus a bit and focus on what you are actually doing with the Runzone Club.
All right, Runzone is a club termed Runzone AC, which means Athletics Club, but it's also known and termed, and everybody knows it as the People's Running Club. The idea of the People's Running Club is, when we originally started the club, was that we were going to impact our generation with the principles of running, and take them at a young age and instill those principles and disciplines in them, and use that to actually change them for lifetime going forward. And this is what we have established through our running club. We're involved with so many schools cross country, and that's where we're impacting, and that's what we're doing. So it was to make running affordable and accessible to no matter who you are. And also at the same time, we train up elites as well as off the couch. And we took that. The same person that's doing their first kilometer off the couch has exactly the same principle as the person trying to break a world record. The difference is the standards is different. That's all it is. But the principles are 100% the same.
So mentorship, accessibility, and principle teaching. With that being said, and having established some of those pillars, what have been some of the great achievements?
Some of the great achievements is within the actual running club is this. We have, if we take it to the race level, the marathon level, Runzone Athletics Club has the opportunity to, we were awarded with the first qualifying Comrades Marathon in 2020. It's something that is unheard of in the history of running, that a club as young as 3 years old, 2 years old on the October the 3rd, we were 2 years old, and we're going into the third year, 2020, that we've achieved the status of actually being able to host a marathon. So that for us was the greatest achievement by way of sport. But our greatest achievement by way of reaching out what we set out to do, and that is to make a difference by being different and doing things differently, is the schools that we've impacted. And we've started the Christmas charity run, and we use it to raise stationery for schools, and we impact in our schools. And that for us is the greatest achievement we could have done through our running.
Yeah, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And speaking of comrades in 2020, what is your advice to any possible marathon runners who are watching this afternoon?
My advice to a lot of marathon runners, we're in marathon season at the moment, where everybody's looking to get that early qualifier in. This weekend being their last long run for their marathons coming up in 2 or 3 weeks' time. And I would say, once you've achieved your qualifying time this year, take some time out because it begins in January and you're going to need to be disciplined. You're going to have to put in the hours. You're going to have to put in the training.
Right, we thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Discipline and putting in the training from Graham Block, long distance running coach and founder of Runzone Athletics Club, just giving us some reaction, of course, on Kipchoge breaking that sub-2, as well as giving us more information going into Comrades 2020 and, of course, advice for any Comrade Marathon runners who may be watching this afternoon. Well, continuing with some other news, Japan may be feeling the early onset of Typhoon Hagibis, but this has not deterred its rugby team. Well, Japanese rugby players brave high waters to train amid the typhoon. Players have also turned up this morning for a practice session ahead of tomorrow's clash against Scotland in Yokohama. Well, their first hurdle was getting across a flooded passageway to actually get to the pitch. World Cup organisers will decide tomorrow whether the match can go ahead. Japan are currently top of Pool A and will qualify for the World Cup knockout stages for the very first time if they beat Scotland come Sunday. Well, Scotland cancelled their training session on Saturday. The South African ambassador to Japan, Smuts Ngonyama, says that the Springboks are fit and ready to make it all the way to the final. The ambassador says that the team is motivated and determined.
I can assure you, your team is strong, is in good spirit. They are motivated, Springboks, because they are the first ones that have actually qualified for quarterfinals. So they are not affected by all this. Instead, they are resting. And right now, they are still in Kobe, where they played against Canada. They are stretching themselves today, and they're indoors, and according to Charles Vessels, who's the manager. And so our team is in good spirits. They are ready for any team in the next 3 games.
I like how at the beginning you said your team. You sounded so distant from it. Ambassador, how have you been interacting with the World Cup? Have you been following all the movements?
Absolutely. I've been attending all these matches, and I've been there even in the anteroom. And when the players are actually coming out of the match, and to give them support by sheer presence, at times they ask me to say something, then I would say, and whatever within the confines of the diplomatic and statements, and so the team is very strong. And let me say, our team is strong.
That's
team
important.
Is strong and the spirit. Yeah, they are very, very cohesive in terms of spirit and also the mental framework, which is very, very important. The captain is very strong, and now because all along, he's been limping a bit, but he told me that now he's 100% fit. That's why in the last match he was made to play the whole and the time and 80 minutes and for the match. So Sia is ready for the next 3 matches. Rasmus, the coach, is over the moon. He's a very, very nice and very committed, dedicated, knowledgeable and a rugby coach and respected as well. The president, I had time also with the president, Mark Alexander. He's looking forward to Boks going to the finals. We all pray. And I think all of us as South Africans, tomorrow Sunday, let's pray for Amapokopoko. And whether we are at work, let's pray for our team. We've done it before in two times, and we can do it now so that we are equal with All Blacks with 3 World Cup victories.
Well, that's a wrap-up of SA Today. Thank you very much for joining myself, Shante Yankees and team. We leave you with your weather forecast. Good night.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Weather Desk. As you can see, our satellite imagery is showing us mostly partly cloudy conditions. We are expecting later on some thunderstorms to develop over the eastern parts of the Eastern Cape, spreading over into the southern parts of KwaZulu-Natal and into the southeastern parts of the Free State. The rest of the country will remain mostly partly cloudy conditions, but clear over the extreme western parts. For tomorrow, we're expecting some light rain along the coastal regions of the Eastern Cape, with some thunderstorm development expected later on in the afternoon over the southern parts of Mpumalanga Mpumalanga over into the eastern parts of the Free State and most of KwaZulu-Natal for tomorrow. The South African Weather Service has warned today of possible high fire danger conditions that are expected over the Northern Cape, spreading over into the central parts of the country, mostly covering the western parts of the Northwest Province, the Free State and the northeastern parts of the Eastern Cape. Tomorrow, that high fire danger warning is expected to include the Northwest Province, the Free State and the northeastern parts of the Northern